Yes.
Who conducted this investigation in 2003?
That investigation involved 3 Oregon Police Command officers, a Maumee police officer, a witness who was a Oregon police officer. I will brief that investigation. Sergeant Definette was contacted by Maumee police officer Collimer, who told of a telephone harassment complaint, and I will just state, I won't continue to name the individual, I just will call her as a complainant. She claimed 2 calls on March 17th, 2003. She heard no comment, but heard Jeff Brown's voice in the background. In a telephone call to her on March the 18th, 2003, it came from an individual named as Dawn, who was an employee of the Comfort Inn. In that, the complainant claims that she could hear Jeff Brown's voice in the background. Definette is confronted by Jeff Brown and told that he knows about the Maumee complaint. He asked Definette to verify that he was not present during the phone call by calling Dawn. Definette talks with Dawn on the phone. She says she called and says no police officers were present during the call. In the Maumee report, there is no claim of anything other than telephone harassment. Sergeant Zale conducted an internal investigation that consisted of 4 pages. And he interviewed Officer Collimer, who told him that Rhodes called and claimed other telephone harassment. Collimer is told that the complainant has a protection order against Jeff Brown. Officer Collimer is told by the complainant that she was told by an Oregon supervisor to report anything Jeff Brown did. Officer Collimer is told that Dawn called the complainant. Officer Collimer is told that Jeff Brown didn't say anything, but the complainant could recognize his voice in the background. Now that's an important distinction. Jeff Brown didn't say anything, but she could recognize his voice in the background. Sergeant Zale is told by Collimer that the Maumee Police Department would not be following up on the complaint. Officer Collimer told Sergeant Zale that the complainant appeared very smug. Officer Collimer told Sergeant Zale that the incident did not warrant a report, but the complainant demanded a report. Sergeant Zale attempted to verify claims of a protective order and investigated the Leeds and Norris system and found no listing of a protective order under the complainant's name. Sergeant Zale on 4/22/03 interviewed Dawn at the Comfort Inn. She told him that she did make a call to the complainant. She told him that the phone was immediately given to a male who berated her using a 4-letter expletive. Sergeant Zale is told by Dawn that Jeff Brown was not present during the call. She told Jeff Brown later about the call. Sergeant Zale is told by Dawn that she questions the complainant's ability to ID voices since there were 2 males in the lobby and the TV was on. On April 21st, 2003, Sergeant Zale interviews Jeff Brown, and this was witnessed by Janet Zale. Sergeant Zale was told by Jeff Brown he was not present when Dawn made her call. Jeff Brown told Sergeant Zale about transporting an intoxicated female to the Comfort Inn earlier in the night and then returning to obtain some whiteout, and at that time was told of the call. Sergeant Zale is told by Jeff Brown that he was not aware that the complainant had filed a protective order, that he and his wife had filed a protective order against her. Sergeant Definette, and this is probably the meat of the whole investigation, Sergeant Definette on 4/23/03 contacted the complainant on the telephone at approximately 7:00 p.m. He asked her about the Maumee police telephone harassment. He's told by the complainant that Dawn called her while she was in the hospital at approximately 5:30 in the morning. She said she could hear a police radio in the background and felt Jeff Brown was prompting Dawn. Sergeant Depinet asked what was said. He was told that she was under the influence of drugs, codeine, Nubane, and an epidural, and could not recall specifics. The call lasted 2 minutes. Sergeant Depinet asked if anyone else was present. The complainant told Depinet that her fiance, Jeff Truman, and that she handed the phone to him. Depinet restates that the complainant said she did not hear Jeff Brown, only a police radio, and didn't know who else, and she speculated she didn't know who else it could have been. The complainant told Depinet that she had had problems with Jeff Brown on 3 of 02 through 11 of 02. Telephone harassment and menacing. The complainant said calls came to her cell phone from Jeff Brown, from the fire station on Wheeling, and from the Comfort Inn between 11:30, 12 o'clock midnight until 7 a.m. in the morning. She heard a police radio in the background, and some calls and other calls were simply hang-ups. She told Depinet that she filed 10 police reports with the Toledo Police Department. Sergeant Depinet attempted to verify with the Toledo Police Records section, and they were able to find only 2 telephone harassment reports that she had filed. Those reports were issued on 11:03 of 02 and 11:09 of 02, both of which were for telephone harassment. And Jeff Brown is listed as a suspect in both of those. Those reports were not included in the investigative report conducted by Sergeant Depinet.